At the year-end bonus ceremony, my CEO boyfriend had just announced he was giving me a 30% stake in the company. His secretary, Hannah Wu, cut the microphone wire, stepped onto the stage, took his hand, and proclaimed loudly, "I'm the CEO's real girlfriend. Who do you think you are, daring to take a 30% stake?" My boyfriend Michael Mang, who had always doted on me, not only didn't stop her but told me to hand over the nearly completed AI project and go home to rest. Colleagues and friends begged me to bear it. After all, she's the CEO's girlfriend, they said. I smiled and accepted all his arrangements, turning over the project and my ID badge. Since I need to rest, whether I come back or when I come back is up to me. The room fell dead silent. Everyone knew the company wouldn't have gone public without me. Hearing my plan to quit, colleagues grabbed me. "Sophia, you're a senior employee. Don't be impulsive. Just bear this temporary setback. She is Mr. Mang's girlfriend." But how could I bear it? How many times had I endured? I was cornered. Yet Michael, my secret boyfriend of 5 years, stood on stage with arms crossed, watching indifferently. Hannah smirked beside him, relishing my humiliation. "Sophia Chen, you really think you're important? Making a scene over shares. Embarrassing everyone, have you no shame?" Seeing Hannah's barbs, others intervened. "Ms. Wu just wants to lighten the mood. No harm intended." I waved them off, clasped my hands in front of me. "Thanks, everyone. But I'm leaving today. Wish you all career success." I ripped off my ID badge, threw it on the floor, and turned to go. As I reached the hall door, Michael called out, "Sophia, if you walk out today, you'll crawl back begging me to let you in." My heart clenched. For a self-proclaimed fake girlfriend, Michael had lashed out at his real girlfriend of 5 years who'd sacrificed everything for him. I said firmly, "Don't worry, Mr. Mang. Even if you beg, I won't return." At my desk, I packed items into a box. Each triggered memories of my 5 years with Michael. 5 years ago, we graduated from Deep Tech University. To support his startup dream, I gave up grad school to hustle in Silicon Valley. At our worst, we rented a 50-square-foot basement, surviving on bread. Later, I worked day and night designing blueprints, shuttling between factories and the office, building the company into an industry leader. 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, all repaid with ingratitude. If Michael was so sure he could lead the company, I'd respect that. Since he'd changed beyond recognition, I had no reason to stay. The wise bird chooses the right tree to nest in. Today, I'd reclaim my identity as the free, brave tech prodigy from Deep Tech. Got a new sugar daddy? Ditching the ring after all these years? Hannah sauntered to my desk, picking up the ring I'd tossed. "This must be real. Sell it for food, unlike me. Stuck taking your job and enjoying the good life." I scoffed inwardly. She focused solely on men, blind to the thankless grind of my work. Outwardly, I stayed calm. "Enjoy it while you can." Seeing my indifference, Hannah sneered, "Keep smiling. You'll cry your eyes out at home." She was half right. I forced the smile, but the tears would never come. Outside, I called my parents vacationing in Hawaii, agreeing to take over the family business and meet the son of Silicon Valley's richest man. Thrilled, they contacted James Lin to arrange a meeting with his son, David. At Clearview Villa, movers waited. I directed them to pack my belongings. Soon, the villa stood empty. I'd furnished it from pots and pans to appliances, all my money, all my effort. What once felt sweet now stung as my greatest disgrace. 5 years wasn't long, but I'd cut my losses, freeing myself from illusions about Michael. He wasn't the real man I'd thought. Now, This phoenix returned to her rightful nest. After the movers left, I sorted AI project documents in the study, feeding them into a shredder. Halfway through, Michael stormed in. "What the hell are you doing?" He snatched the papers, yelling, "Do you know what you're destroying?" "Yep," I said calmly, taking out the trash. I emphasized trash through clenched teeth. "Sophia! Am I spoiling you too much? Who are you insulting?" Michael raised the papers to throw, then hesitated. They were the company's biggest project. He sheepishly lowered his hand. "All bark, no bite." I kept my tone even. "You made your decision this morning, Mr. Maine. Since I'm leaving, I take what's mine." Michael's eyes blazed. "Just because I didn't back you today, you're throwing a tantrum? When did you become like this? Look at Hannah, she never disobeys me. If you were half as obedient." "I said it this morning, leave today, and I'll never look at you again, even if you crawl." He stormed off with the remaining papers, still thinking I was just throwing a fit, using his usual strong-arming to break me. But paper tigers can't swim. His bluster revealed his weakness. He hadn't even noticed the empty villa, too busy attacking me to save face. Shaking my head, I left the key and walked out, never looking back. Returning to the manor where I grew up, Steward Sue rushed out to greet me the moment I arrived. "Miss Sophia! We've been waiting for you." He clasped my hands tightly, his face full of concern. "You must have suffered out there." That long-lost warmth and care shattered the walls around my heart in an instant. "It's okay, Uncle Sue. The hard times are over." Uncle Sue had been our family steward since I was a child. 20-odd years later, he was more like family than staff. As we walked through familiar yet slightly changed surroundings, he pointed out renovations and told me stories behind each. In the back garden, I met David Lynn, the son of Uncle Lynn my parents often mentioned. Where Michael had a rugged, intense look, David was the epitome of a friendly next-door brother, warm and approachable. Seeing me, he untied his apron and extended his hand politely. "Hello, Miss Chin. I'm David Lynn." "Hello. Nice to meet you. And thanks for cooking." I shook his hand gently. In 5 years with Michael, I'd always been the one cooking. Now, a man I'd just met was willing to cook for me. Over dinner, I was impressed by David, thoughtful, gentlemanly, and tactful in conversation. Most importantly, he genuinely respected women and their contributions. When I told him I'd started a business despite family opposition, he didn't belittle me. Instead, he praised my intelligence and resilience. This must be fate, sending someone so aligned with my values. I'd been blind to anyone but Michael, this time. I wouldn't miss my chance. "Do you mind that I had a 5-year relationship?" I asked bluntly, startled by my candor. David paused before replying, "Not at all." "Then will you marry me?" This left him speechless. Even with his overseas education, he'd never met such a bold woman. Just as I thought he might refuse, he said firmly, "Yes." The next day, we got married at City Hall, holding those 2 marriage certificates. I felt a surge of emotion. The proposal I'd waited 5 years for had come from someone else. My parents cut their vacation short, booked the first flight home, and vowed to plan our wedding. I laughed at their eagerness, but their excitement grew, maybe because they finally saw my long-lost smile. For a year, Michael and Hannah's drama had stolen my joy. As I video chatted with family, David sat quietly beside me, peeled an orange, and placed it in my hand. Just when I thought everything was falling into place, a colleague's call doused me in cold water. "Sophia! Hannah launched your companion AI app on the market." I grabbed my phone and searched the App Store. There it was, the familiar green logo. The feature descriptions were identical to my design. How had they reconstructed the files after I'd shredded half of them? To confirm my suspicion, I asked a hacker friend to access Michael's Clearview Villa security footage. Days after I left, Michael and Hannah returned, dumped shredded paper from the shredder onto the living room floor, and spent all night piecing the documents back together. So they'd worked that hard to steal my work. Too bad they didn't know I'd patented the project a week before finalizing it. Without my consent, their use was illegal. Not only had they launched the app without permission, they'd falsified the copyright. I wondered how they'd react when the truth hit. After watching the footage, David asked worriedly, "Will this affect you? Do you need my help?" I thanked him but declined. This was between Michael and me. I could handle it without dragging him into the mess. Hannah must have known I'd found out, for she messaged me, "Sophia, check my moments." Surprise, with a winking cat emoji. As expected, her post showed her holding red roses beside Michael, with a screen behind them reading, "Celebrating Companion AI's launch." The caption, "Thanks, Mr. Mang, for fulfilling my love and career." I felt sick. She was passing off my masterpiece as her own, like slapping a designer sticker on a cardboard box. Soon, I saw Michael liked the post and commented, "My love goes only to those who cherish it. Those who don't can die." What a grand display of love, truly a match made in hell. He was the one who'd betrayed me, the one who'd thrown away our love, yet I was the one being cursed. Fine. I'd play the long game. How does it feel? Still smiling? You failed not just at love but at protecting your work. We've signed contracts with major companies who love our senior care concept. They want our system integrated into healthcare. Soon, Michael and I will be the top of AI. And you'll be the pathetic loser who isn't even worthy of shining our shoes. Reading Hannah's taunts, I pictured her kneeling on Michael's living room floor, desperately taping shredded paper. The prouder she was now, the harder she'd fall. And she was foolish to reveal her cards so easily. Using the companies she mentioned, I listed healthcare firms in Silicon Valley and sent my assistant to meet them. After wrapping up, I replied casually, "Ceilings are flimsy. Better to stay on the ground, at least it's safe." Soon enough, Michael's call came through. "Sophia Chen, I can see you're just jealous that you'll never stand by my side again. Forced to watch Hannah thrive," he sneered. "If you come back now, get on your knees and apologize. I might consider letting you back in and throwing you a bone." He must have been with Hannah when she messaged me. My last reply was dripping with sarcasm. Yet he still thought I regretted leaving. Had our values and IQs always been this mismatched? Before he finished, I hung up, blocking both his and Hannah's numbers. I was happy now, no need for their drama. My assistant worked swiftly. By afternoon, I had replies from all company heads. They agreed to partner with my family business, void their contracts with Michael, and even offered to help stage a show at next Monday's signing ceremony. Now that I had nothing to worry about, I'd let them enjoy a few more days of delusion. Their reckoning would come soon enough. Since leaving Michael, my life had flourished. I took over the family business and formed a powerful alliance with the Lins. David trusted me entirely, putting me in charge of the new senior care and medical tech division. Soon, we partnered with the federal government to address the aging population crisis. Watching our rapid rise in the industry, Michael couldn't stay calm. He sent Hannah to negotiate with us first. From the moment she stepped into Lin Enterprises, Hannah's envy was palpable. Compared to what she'd clawed from Michael, this was peanuts. But when she saw me in the office, her face dropped. "What are you doing here?" She glanced at David beside me, then scoffed. "So that's why you left so decisively, you found a new sugar daddy." Turning to David, she added, "Mr. Lin, don't be fooled. She's just a scheming woman who uses men to climb the ladder." She pulled out a chair and plopped down next to David, leaning so close her arm almost touched his. David's face flickered with annoyance, but his aristocratic upbringing kept him polite. Please show my wife the respect she deserves. Ms. Wu. Hannah gaped in disbelief. Your wife? Sophia Chen? She's just a woman Michael dumped. How could she be so lucky? Only then did she notice our diamond rings. The sparkle stung, after all her years with Michael. He'd never bought her so much as a band. I think you got it backwards. Hannah, I said firmly. He didn't dump me. I left him. Fixing her with a professional stare. I added. We've been talking for a while, but I haven't heard your company's proposal yet. If we're discussing partnership, we need to see your sincerity. The negotiation failed miserably. Hannah mixed up details, gave wrong quotes, and seemed completely distracted. Watching her leave the office in a daze, I smirked inwardly. If she couldn't handle this, how would she survive what was coming? At home, I told Mom the whole story. She gave me a thumbs up. Well done. Let those two troublemakers stew. Our girl deserves all the happiness. In the living room, Dad and the Lins pored over hotel options with more seriousness than a national bid. I rolled my eyes. But Mom smiled. Let them be. The Lins have waited a decade for this wedding, of course they're invested. A decade? I frowned. I didn't recall any contact with the Lins with the past 10 years. How had they planned a marriage alliance back then? Before I could ponder, my phone vibrated wildly, 30 messages from an unknown number. Reading them, I grew more speechless. Michael had registered a new number just to hurl insults and sarcasm. My marriage must have shattered his paper-thin ego. This was exactly the petty tantrum I expected. I activated call blocking, allowing only numbers on my whitelist. Glancing at the time, I realized tomorrow was Michael's big signing day. I needed to prepare. Tomorrow's venue would be my stage and my battlefield. The next morning, I got up early for a full-body spa, a sleek smoky eye makeup, and a hairstyle designed to match my power suit. 3 hours later, I was ready. David stayed by my side the entire time, never once complaining. He knew today was too important to rush. At the signing event, CEOs who'd agreed to switch sides chatted amiably with Michael. His smug grin made me nauseous. So David fetched lemon water. Sensing my gaze, Michael turned. Our eyes met, his full of scorn, mine of revulsion. He stalked over. Came alone? Did your sugar daddy dump you? Here to beg for me back? I forced a smile. He was so self-absorbed. He ignored my designer outfit, convinced I'd come for him. In a way, I had, but our agendas couldn't be more different. Former colleagues whispered, Sophia can't really be here to apologize. Can she? Look at her makeup. She must want Mr. Meng to take her back. I rolled my eyes. Who begs in couture more expensive than their boss can afford? They'd only seen me in workwear. Hence the misunderstanding. Did you hear that? Sophia? See how others perceive you. How could I possibly take you out and call you my girlfriend? I didn't bother arguing anymore. Stepping outside to wait for the signing ceremony. David, who'd been watching silently, handed me the lemon water, then gently touched my head. Don't listen to them. You're a pearl, just covered in dust before they noticed. His words were like a March breeze, breathing life into the withered parts of my heart. Half an hour later, the signing ceremony began. I'd prepped all attendees, including Michael, that the Sean family's daughter would make a rare public appearance today. Now on stage, he declared earnestly, today, we're honored to welcome the Sean family's daughter for her first public appearance. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Thunderous applause erupted. In Silicon Valley, the number of women vying for David Lin matched the number of men hoping to marry into the Sean family. Together, The Lins and Shans controlled 50% of Silicon Valley's wealth. Any industry they entered left others competing for third place. The crowd, especially the men, had awaited this moment. As I walked onto the stage under the spotlight, Michael froze. This can't be. How dare you impersonate the Shan daughter? Guards. Throw her out. Who dares? David's voice cut through the crowd. Who dares touch my wife? Time seemed to rewind to that year-end bonus afternoon, same dead silence. But this time, I wasn't alone. David put his arm around my shoulder, announcing proudly, "This is Sophia Shan, daughter of the Shan family. And my wife, David Lin. No one here can vouch for her identity better than I." It took Michael ages to process this. His expression revealed overwhelming regret. He discarded not just a devoted lover, but a fortune he could never earn in 10 lifetimes. Facing the audience, I feigned magnanimity to spare Michael. Can't blame Mr. Mang. We all have moments when we fail to recognize a great person. I'm here today to thank him for 5 years of mentorship, turning this delicate woman into a capable leader. Any wise person could hear the sarcasm dripping from every word. After speaking, I signaled the AV team in the corner. Speaking of which, Mr. Mang, doesn't it feel tight? Wearing someone else's clothes? His face paled as he slowly turned to the screen, seeing the last thing he wanted, a patent certificate stamped by an authoritative agency. Signed Sophia Chen. When did you register this? Easy, Mr. Mang. I smiled sweetly. Wait till the presentation ends, then you can ask all your questions. Slide after slide, videos. Photos, I narrated each story, pushing Michael and Hannah toward the abyss. Independent analysis shows companion AI matches my patent by 90%. This isn't just plagiarism, it's word-for-word theft. Here's footage of them reconstructing my designs all night. Profit has no limits for them. 5 minutes later, the presentation concluded. Well, Mr. Mang, any more questions? Comments? You venomous witch. You set me up. Michael lunged, grabbing my hair and raising his hand to strike. But David intercepted him, flipping Michael over his shoulder. The sedentary Michael collapsed, unable to stand. As if his day couldn't get worse. CEOs whose contracts I'd voided swarmed the stage, demanding contract termination and exorbitant liquidated damages. The blows triggered a heart attack, and Michael was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. Watching the chaos, I felt strangely calm. What came next wasn't my concern. From today, I was done with the past. The humble Sophia who once buried herself in the dust would stay in memories, henceforth. I was the Shan family's princess. David's cherished love. Back home, I focused on integrating AI with senior care, aiming to finalize the plan before our wedding next month, then David and I could honeymoon peacefully. Unexpectedly, Hannah sought me out at a cafe, handing me a yellow envelope. I know it's too late for sorry, but I need to apologize. Clever woman, knowing her backing had fallen, she groveled to the new power. But I'd never taken her seriously. There were countless women like her, Hannah Wu, Lisa Wu, Tracy Wu. The real problem was Michael. As long as he lived, he'd never be content. Seeing my indifference, Hannah smiled in relief. Thank you. Tears welled up. I envy you. Born into privilege. I had to fight for everything. But I took the wrong path, can't go back now. I wiped her tears with a tissue. I won't sue you. I just want what's mine. Hannah gaped, she'd expected retaliation. In their world, annihilation was the norm. But what was the point? Some things couldn't be destroyed, let them linger in disgrace. Before leaving, Hannah knelt and kowtowed 3 times, watching her forehead hit the floor. I thought, karma is real, pride comes before a fall. At home, I opened the envelope, a USB drive. Hannah had warned me to delete its contents immediately. Supposedly, it held dirt Michael planned to use against me. Curious. I plugged it in. The screen filled with my nude photos. Obviously photoshopped, but shocking nonetheless. For a woman, such images, real or fake, ruin reputations. I destroyed the files, then smashed the USB with a desk ashtray. I never thought Michael would stoop so low. I called my lawyer to draft charges. Scum like him couldn't be allowed to roam free, he had to be eliminated. Half a month later, I saw Michael again in court. The man who'd sworn to wear nothing but designer suits and luxury watches now donned a standard detention center uniform. His hair shorn into a military buzz cut. As the lawyer read the charges against him, the light in Michael's eyes faded bit by bit. I'd expected him to rage, to fight desperately. A friend working in the prison said that when Michael first heard I was suing, he looked murderous. When he learned I'd only charged him, not Hannah, he realized she'd betrayed him, handing over the ace he'd prepared to blackmail me. So he demanded a public defender, implicating Hannah in return. But by the time police went for her, she was long gone. The night I sent Michael the lawyer's letter, I'd arranged her immigration. Realizing we'd outmaneuvered him, Michael lost all fight. That's why he'd stayed silent through the trial. Only when the judge read the verdict did he lift his head, staring at me deeply before being led away by bailiffs. I'll never forget that final look. It held such complexity, regret, defiance, sorrow, and seething hatred. That hatred was a bottomless pit, devouring all. I knew he resented me for hiding my identity, for not giving him the wealth he craved. But the truth proved my decision right. He'd claimed to love me, but it was clear he'd loved only the woman who could build his empire. All along, he'd loved no one but himself. Thinking of the 5 years I'd wasted on him, I felt only relief at being free. Outside the courthouse, David's car waited. "Did you wait long? You arrived just in time." He smiled happily. "The bridal shop called, Masterson's custom wedding dress is ready. Let's go see it." "Okay." I nodded. "But first, I need to ask you something." Sensing my serious tone, David sat up straight. "Why didn't you tell me you were chubby back then?" Days earlier, at the Lynn's home, I'd found his high school photo in his room. A forgotten memory surged. David had been the transfer student fat kid mocked by our class. He'd only stayed 2 months, so my memory was faint, except for one day when I'd seen him bullied by street thugs after school, and helped him escape. "Did you like me since then?" David blushed. An unusual sight. He rubbed his head self-deprecatingly. "I was so overweight, and I didn't want to reveal my background. No one talked to me. You were the only one who stood up for me. I knew then you were the one. After I found out you were dating, I gave up pursuing you, until this year. It turned out everyone in his family had known his feelings. But this sweet fool had waited a decade, watching him gaze at me like I was his treasure. I took his hand tenderly. "You're late by so many years. From today, your punishment is to stay by my side forever." Tears in his eyes, David nodded vigorously. And so we drove from the courthouse to the bridal shop, toward our happy future. I'm grateful I seized happiness. If I hadn't been brave enough to propose to David after one meeting, I'd have missed this good man who'd loved me for 10 years. Time has turned a new page. From now on, we'll write our own romantic story together.